Hi there, Stampin' friends. Welcome to my Stampin' Piece studio. I'm Mary Knabe, coming to you live from Westerville, Ohio on Thursday, August 1st. A couple things before we get started. As you know, today is the first Thursday of the month, so I'll be showing my new 12x12 one-sheet wonder. But before we get to that, I want to give a couple of announcements. If you missed Tuesday's Facebook Live, you'll want to go back and check it out. It has posted to my website, stampinpiece.com, but in that I showed 2 easy card sketches or card layouts that you can use with small images and words, like the Choose Happy stamp set that has lots of small images and lots of words for mixing and matching, and it covers so many occasions and reasons for sending cards. So be sure and check that out, stampinpiece.com. You can also find it on my YouTube channel, and the name of that is Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. Saturday is the last day to order my Greatest Adventure class to go. This is a great class for making, and I'm just going to show you a few, for making some masculine cards. In the class, you'll make 6 cards, 6 different cards. So with that class, of course, then you'll have 6 different card sketches that you can use in the future. So again, Greatest Adventure card class to go, featuring the Greatest Adventure stamp set, or the train stamp set for masculine cards, is all that information is on my website, stampinpiece.com. Saturday is the deadline to register. Today, being August 1st, means that if you earned bonus coupons last month in July for your Stampin' Up! Orders, then you can redeem those $5 coupon codes this month, the month of August 2024. And if you haven't redeemed them already, you might want to wait till the 6th, which is Tuesday, because Stampin' Up! Is having a designer series paper sale. I believe it's all of the designer series papers in the 2024 to 2025 annual catalog will be 15% off August 6th through the 31st of August. Okay, so it's a great time to purchase DSP if you love it as much as I do. All right, I'm going to flip my camera around now so that we can get started with today's one-sheet wonder demonstration. While I'm doing that, would you please share this live video and invite others to join us this afternoon on this August 1st. Okay, I want to adjust this just a little bit. I'm wanting you to see as much of the DSP as I can. And trying to get that glare out of the way, which is always a little bit of a challenge, but okay. So for this month's one-sheet wonder, I've created a 12x12 one-sheet wonder template, 5 coordinating card sketches. I don't know why I can't get this straight. What I'm seeing on my phone is not showing up the same way on my computer screen, so I apologize. Okay, that's a little better. Anyways, time to move on. But I will be featuring today this sheet of the Seasons of Green and Gold Designer Series paper. On one side of each sheet, there is this beautiful gold metallic, okay, patterns and accents. You see that? Okay, they all have some gold metallic. And on the reverse side are some fun patterns and images, all in matte tones of green. Old olive, mossy meadow, we've got some soft seafoam and vanilla in that set as well. And this is the one I'm going to be using for my one sheet wonder today. And I've decided I'm going to show you all the products first before we get started. So in addition to this sheet of Seasons of Green Gold Designer Series paper, I'm using sentiments and dies from the Greetings of the Season bundle. And at the end, I will show you how I stamped my envelopes using a couple of these stamps from the Golden Greenery set for some two-step stamping. All right, as you all know, the most important thing about a one-sheet wonder is how you cut the paper. And you've seen me do one-sheet wonders with 6x6 Designer Series paper, 12x12s. It really can be anything you want, but sometimes one-sheet wonders can be rather complicated. There's so many different cuts. Every card is a different layout. I want to back that up, both for you and for me. I prefer easy to make cards that give off a wow factor. And I think this is one of the one-sheet wonders that very much does that for us. So first thing I want to do is show you how to cut the 12x12 Designer Series paper. Keep in mind, you don't have to use the very same products I'm using today. They're great cards. They're beautiful cards. You will love them once you see them completed. But you can use these one-sheet wonder templates and the card sketches or card layouts with any of your favorite Designer Series papers, stamp sets, etc. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is cut at 6 inches. Then I'm going to slide this over and cut at 4 inches. So now I have 3 strips. They're all 12 inches in length. One is 6 inches wide, 4 inches wide, 2 inches wide. And each one of these, I'm going to turn in the horizontal position and do some additional cutting. So I'm first this 6 inch by 12 inch piece in the horizontal position. I'm cutting at 4 inches. And then 4 inches again. And this last one, I'm going to cut at 2 inches. Now, before I move on to the next 12-inch strip, I want to do a little bit more cutting on these 6 inch by 4 inch pieces and 6 inch by 2 inch pieces. So the first two, the ones that measure 6 inches by 4 inches, I want to cut at 5 1/4 inches, or in other words, I'm cutting off 3/4 of an inch on the right end, on the right side, okay? So I'll set those aside. Now I've got my 6 by 2 inch pieces, and on these, I'm going to cut at 5 1/2 inches, right here, 5 1/2 inches, or in other words, I'm cutting off 1/2 inch from the right end. For this next one, I'm going to turn it into, or to the horizontal direction. I'm going to cut at 4 inches and 4 inches. I'm gonna leave these that way. And then this last one, I'm cutting at 2 inches. So now I've got these 4-inch by 2-inch pieces. And then I'm going to cut down my 2-inch by 12-inch piece at 5.5 inches once, 5.5 inches twice, and then I was left with this 2-inch by 1-inch piece. And you know how I am. I feel the, I don't want to say I feel the pressure, but I challenge myself to show you one sheet wonders where you use every bit of the DSP sheet. Okay, so no waste, right? I don't know how or why I started challenging myself to that. You know, I could have just chucked this and said, oh, well, I got most of it. But no, I'm going to cut this in half. So now I have two 2-inch by 1/2-inch strips that I'll be using in a clever way on my last 2 cards. And trust me, you're gonna love what I did with those. All right, now, because I am making 9 cards with you and using 5 different card sketches, I have pre-cut all of my card bases. They're all 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4. On the inside, I've put very vanilla cardstock, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay. Some of my cards will be horizontal. Some of them will be in the vertical position. I've also gone ahead and cut all of the gold foil pieces I'll be needing for these 9 cards. The gold foil is what is my accent paper to the Seasons of Green Gold DSP. Keep in mind, this could be a different shade of cardstock, maybe old olive, or maybe some very vanilla. Could be anything you want that coordinates with your designer series paper. I just happen to choose the gold foil. It could also be, I should say, a coordinating sheet of designer series paper. Say, like for these cards, I'd probably choose this one or that one, but you get the idea. So just keep in mind when you're using this one sheet wonder and the card sketches at home, make it what you want, okay? It's all about the creativity you put in to, what do I want to say? To the designs, the templates, the sketches that you're given, correct? Okay, so my first 2 cards, card sketch A, they are going to basically be the same. And I'm going to adhere the, I need to put my glasses back on. I'm going to adhere the 5 1/4 by 4-inch pieces to the card fronts. Since I already put my very vanilla inside, I have to make sure I'm putting the DSP on what is to be the front of the card base. Yes. Then I've got these 3/4 inch by 4-inch strips. Okay. These are the ones that were cut off from the ends of the 6 by 4-inch pieces. I want to flip this over, so I'll be using the polka dot side here. All right. And I'm going to mount each of these onto gold foil paper, which measures 1 inch by 4 inches. So I get that border of gold foil on above and below my DSP strip, but it's the same length as the DSP strip. Okay. And then I will simply adhere these pieces to the center of my card fronts. Okay, so I'm centering left to right and top to bottom as best I can. And I typically don't measure, I just do it. When you make a lot of cards, you kind of get used to just eyeballing it. But just right there in the center. All right, I'm going to just move along and keep showing you all the different card sketches before I add in the sentiments and the embellishments, okay? So let me move along here. Got all my samples over here set to the side. Now I'm going to use my 5.5 inch by 2 inch pieces, and the 1/2 inch by 2 inch pieces I cut off of each end. And again, we're flipping those over and using the polka dot side, okay? So the larger pieces of DSP, I'm going to mount onto the gold foil I've pre-cut, and the gold foil measures 5.5 inches by 2 1/4 inches, okay? 5.5 by 2 1/4. Okay. Now, before I add more gold foil and those small DSP strips, I'm actually going to put these layers onto my card fronts. Hello, Barbara from Massachusetts. Thanks for joining us today. So many of you are on. I love it. And I know lots and lots of people, more people, watch the replays or watch on YouTube or on my website later. So whether you're watching live or a replay or on one of my other channels, I do appreciate you and thank you so much. Now, when I'm adding these layers, they are approximately 1/2 inch from the bottom of my card base. Again, just eyeballing it. And then these two pieces, I want the polka dot side facing up. So I'm adding, adding some, okay, all of a sudden I have two here. I don't know why. I didn't even notice that I grabbed my second one. You probably did. But I'm putting these 1/2 inch by 2 inch strips onto gold that measures 1 inch by 2 inches. Okay, got a little adhesive there. That's better. Okay, so my gold is 1 inch by 2 inches. And then I'll adhere these to my layers about, I'd say about 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch from the left side. Anywhere from 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, I would say. Again, just eyeballing it. So that completes the 2 cards for card sketch B. Again, I will add the sentiments and the embellishing after I finish all of the main portion of the cards. Okay, my next two cards are going to be vertical cards, and I'm going to start by adding gold foil that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. As you can see, my dimensions are pretty straightforward, easy, nothing terribly crazy or difficult. I like to keep my one sheet wonders and the coordinating card sketches simple. That way, I know that both you and I will want to use these one sheet wonders and card sketches repeatedly in our crafting. Next, I'm going to take the 4-inch square DSP pieces, and I'm going to add these to my card fronts. And I'm leaving just a small border of gold foil showing at the top, maybe about 1/8 of an inch or so, 1/4 of an inch, somewhere in there. Again, just eyeballing it, just a small border at the top. And then I have a larger border of the gold at the bottom. Doing the same thing with that second 4-inch square. And I am going to pause just a moment here and tell you that I know some of you are thinking, oh, but Mary, that's a lot of gold foil paper to waste. I guess I don't think of it that way, but if you are feeling that way, I'm going to give you 2 things you can do to make your gold foil paper stretch a little bit further. One would be just to cut a small strip here, and this is about a 1 1/8 inch strip at the bottom, maybe 1 1/4. And you could put those gold strips down first and then add your DSP. I like to do it this way just because I don't know, I think it makes a sturdier card. I think it's a little easier to line everything up straight and with even borders. Another thing that you can do is take, before you actually adhere the large piece of gold foil, you can die cut a shape from it, or you can punch a shape from it, okay? Just if you do that, just be sure you're doing it behind the area that's going to be covered by your DSP, okay? Alrighty. So I'm gonna set these aside, again, adding the sentiment and embellishments at the end. For the next card, whoops, that's in the wrong pile, hold on a second. And I will show you at the end also the envelopes, coordinating envelopes I stamped with these. For the next card, this is card sketch D, and it makes 1 card, okay? All the other card sketches I've made 2, but this one makes 1 card. So I'm putting on this piece of gold foil that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I've got these 4-inch by 2-inch pieces of DSP. And remember, this was our third 4-inch square that I cut in half across, all right? I'm going to put one here at the top and one here at the bottom. So I'll have about 1/8 of an inch of the gold foil showing above the top DSP strip, and about 1/8 of an inch of the gold foil showing below the bottom DSP strip. And in the middle then, I'll have about 1 inch of the gold foil showing. Okay, and again here, I found it easier to use one large piece of the gold foil rather than 3 strips of gold and 2 of the DSP and trying to fit it all together and have even borders, okay? Like I said, I try to keep things easy for you, easy to make cards with the wow factor, right? But there are, you can use some of those other shortcuts I gave you if you're wanting to save on DSP or on the gold foil, okay? All right, that is card number 7, I believe. And then that takes me to card sketch E, which again, I'll be making 2 cards, and these will be in the vertical position. All right, make sure I've got my card bases setting correctly. I'm using my 2" by 5.5" pieces of DSP. These were cut from that last 12" strip of DSP from my One Sheet Wonder. Now, these 12" by 12" One Sheet Wonder demonstrations are something I'm doing on the first Thursday of every month. I typically do it by a Facebook Live, but if for some reason I can't be live, I do a pre-recorded video. In the demonstration, you get, I tell you all of the supplies or products that I'm using. And then in addition to that, I give you all of the dimensions, not just for cutting that 12 by 12 DSP, but for the card bases, all the extra pieces on the card layouts, that sort of thing. If you are like me and you like a download version or PDF version or something you can print, there are 2 ways that you can get the PDF tutorial. And the PDF tutorial will include the One Sheet Wonder template. My daughter Andrea does a great job of making the templates for me. You'll get the 5 coordinating card sketches, which she also makes. I was at her house yesterday and she was working on that while I played with Riley for a bit. So it's a really good trade-off for me. And then in addition to those in that PDF tutorial, you'll also get supply list, color photos, cutting dimensions, and instructions for all of the cards, okay? And there's 2 ways you can get that. You can get it free with a $50 order in the month of August 2024, or you can purchase it in my PDF store at stampinpiece.com for $18. And to get to the PDF store, you go to stampinpiece.com, as I said, my website, click Shop in the pink menu bar, and then at the bottom of that drop-down menu, you'll see PDF tutorials. And that's where you purchase it. And once you pay for it in the PDF store, you can download it yourself immediately from the store, okay? It will direct you to do that. The other thing you'll notice is when you go to PDF tutorials at the bottom of that drop-down menu, to the right of it, you'll see something that says create an account. All that does is creates a PDF account for you on my website. So that way, if you don't get to use a PDF right away or somehow have lost it or misplaced it, you can always go back there and re-download your purchased PDFs, and they will be saved there forever. It's also a good way for you to keep track of the PDF tutorials that you've purchased from me, because in that PDF store, there are, I think at this point, probably about 140. All of the PDFs are arranged in alphabetical order by their name or title. There's also a search bar if you just want to use that. Okay, so that is the last card. I know I still have these 2 pieces to use up. Those are the last 2 pieces of my 12 by 12 DSP sheet, and we will be getting to those momentarily when I add the sentiments to these cards. Now, for the sake of time, and I know, who is it? Linda already jumped off because she wants to watch the ladies all-around gymnastics tournament. Hey, I get you, Linda. In fact, I was in a counseling session yesterday, and I told my counselor, I said, I'm so distracted by these Olympics, and I'm feeling kind of guilty because there have been a day or two when I should have been working, and I think I was watching the Olympics more. I was trying to trick myself into thinking I was working while I was watching the Olympics, and that wasn't always the case. But yeah, I love watching the Olympics. It's winter, summer Olympics. Most of the sports I like to watch, see what goes on. I always learn something. I watched a bit of a ladies rugby match for the first time the other day. I had no idea. Oh, you are still watching, Linda. You're dividing your eyes. I get it. Thank you. I had no idea how violent and physical rugby was. Yeah. Whew. What makes people want to do what they do, I don't know. But I always love learning about the host city, the people, the culture. I love hearing the athletes' stories. I get it. But in other words, as I was saying, in order to respect your time, I have already stamped and die cut all of the sentiments for these cards. Again, they came from the Greetings of the Season stamp set and dies. I love this die set because I can use these with anything else. I can use it with other images. I can use it with other sentiments, words, whatever. Love it. Oh, I should point out to you that each one of these has a hole or a dot or circle, whatever you want to say, that cuts out so you can make it a tag. But as you can see, you don't have to use them as tags because in each of my cards, I've either covered the hole with a bow or another kind of embellishment, okay? So there's my 2 card sketch A cards, Season's Greetings. And then put them where you can see them. For these 2 cards, card sketch B, I've got this long, narrow sentiment and die piece. And I'm going to go a little lower than halfway, but you could do it right across the middle if you like. I'm tempted to ask Linda scores and what's happening, but then I think, oh no, watch it later, Mary. No spoiler alerts. Oh, thank God the Olympics are only every few years, right? And I'm going to do the same with that second one. And I'm going to stop for a moment and talk to you about the embellishments I'm using. For my bows today, I'm using this metallic gold 1/8 inch ribbon. This gold comes in a combo pack of 2. You get the gold and the silver. And it's beautiful. This gold is beautiful with this set of Designer Series paper. And I'm going to have to come up with some other projects using the silver. And then these embellishments here are part of the Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Adhesive Backed Berries collection. Okay. So Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Adhesive Backed Berries is the name of that. And I'm telling you, these are already super popular. All of the products I'm using today are online exclusive. Well, the ribbon might be in the annual catalog. I can't remember for sure. But the berries and the DSP are online exclusives, meaning they are not in a catalog. You can only find them in the Stampin' Up! Online store, okay? These will be popular. The paper's popular. I know recently these went on low inventory. I'm not sure if they're available right now, but don't worry, they are coming back. So if they go unavailable or are unavailable right now, they already have another shipment on order that they are waiting to receive in the warehouse, okay? All right, so cards, this was Card Sketch C, and again, another tag. Notice how each time I'm covering up the holes in the tags, okay? And here is something too. If you're covering up those holes, I found it easiest, and it doesn't matter if you're using a bow or an embellishment, it's easiest to add those if you put a dimensional right behind that hole, okay? The embellishments have adhesives on, but they're the same size as the hole. So this will help hold that in place. And the bow, I do put a rolled up mini glue dot on the back of the knot of each bow. And that too helps it hold it in place. So I've got the glue dot on the front side, but the embellishment or the dimensional on the back side of that hole. Okay, Card Sketch C. And then Card Sketch D is the one that only made one card, remember? And again, another tag from the greetings of the season and Merry Christmas stamped in Mossy Meadow. And I've covered that hole with one of those pretty gold bows. Okay, now I'm going to push those out of the way for a moment. Remember these two little half-inch strips of DSP, and I said I am using every single bit of the DSP sheet. Here's what I came up with to use that last little bit of DSP. I've stamped my sentiment in very vanilla cardstock, but when I die cut it, I positioned the die so that the sentiment was closer to the top instead of centered or near the bottom, because that way I can add a little bit of this multi-purpose glue to the back of these DSP strips and use it as a way to embellish or decorate that tag with a bit of DSP. So I was thrilled when I was making my samples and came up with this idea of how to use that last bit of 12 by 12 DSP. Sometimes the light bulb comes on bright, doesn't it? And this time I didn't want to position this straight on. I thought it looked a little nicer at an angle. Okay, so a quick run through of the cards again, and then I will show you what I did for coordinating envelopes, because, you know, last week it was all about no naked envelopes. So card sketch A, 2 cards. Card sketch B, 2 cards. Card sketch C, the first of our vertical cards. Card sketch D only made 1. Okay. And then card sketch E for the last 2 cards. What do you think? Aren't they beautiful? I'm gonna say, if I do say so myself, I think they are pretty darn beautiful. And I'm excited to use them for some of my holiday cards. Now here are the envelopes. And you know the wonderful thing about making, doing these 12 by 12 one sheet wonders for you every month? I have my set of sample cards. And then I have the second set, which I got from demonstrating with you. So I've got 18 cards ready to go for the holidays. I love it. That is, I find to be so helpful. Here are the envelopes. Okay, let me show you how I stamped these envelopes. And because I have all 18 envelope stamps, I'm just going to do it on a piece of scrap, very vanilla cardstock. Maybe I'll use this, I don't know, die cut it, because there is a die to cut that out. But you can see here, this set is all about 2-step stamping. The small bells, large bells, and then you've got the 3 stems, leaves, the pine, and you've also got berries. And they all use the 2-step stamping method. So, grab my blocks. So this is the outline, or the darker, what I'm using for the darker color, which will be Mossy Meadow. And then this additional piece that I'm matching up to that, I will stamp in soft sea foam. So I'll start with my Mossy Meadow. Just like that. And then I'll use my soft sea foam. And I'll give you a couple tips about matching up the stamp. Kind of just hover over the first image. And I found it easiest to match this particular leaf. Okay, it's kind of pointed, and then it has a space underneath. And then there's another space where the you see these stems kind of fit into those spots. So I kind of look at that, and then I just look up here at this one, kind of matching that. So I'm looking at this and these stems, because those are where the holes are in this stamp. And when I do that, it pretty much comes out perfect every time, okay? So again, that's how I did all of my envelopes. Alrighty. Are there any questions about today's one sheet wonder, the cards, the products I used? Any questions at all? Okay, again, all of the information you need to make these cards is included right here in this video. However, if you would like the PDF version that you can download to your computer or iPad or whatever, or even use to print out, then you can get that one of two ways. Either place an order with me for Stampin' Up! Product, $50 or more before shipping and tax, and I will send the PDF to you free, okay? Or you can purchase it at stampinpiece.com in my PDF tutorial store. All right. Nancy is asking, where did I find the vanilla envelopes? Because we no longer sell the vanilla envelopes. I guess they were not quite the seller as our plain white envelopes, etc. I actually stocked up on some of the very vanilla envelopes when they went on the retirement list. And I did that intentionally because I love using vanilla during the holiday season. I have not purchased them since because I still have several packs to use. I can look into that and see what might be a good source for you. I'd probably start with Amazon. Clearbags.com is a good resource as well. I would think either one of those you'd be able to find the A2 vanilla. They're not going to call them very vanilla because that's sort of Stampin' Up's name of the color, but that's where I would search first. Okay, Nancy? Let me scroll back really fast here and see if I missed any questions. Oh, I did miss a question on Tuesday, I realized later, even though I scrolled back. The question was, what did my shirt say? And the t-shirt I was wearing that day, it was gray, and it's from the Homage Company here in Columbus, and it said, there's no crying in baseball, which of course you know is a famous movie line. Okay, I think I got them all. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. If you like what you see here on Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe, please like this page and please share it with others on social media. And also, if you could help me out, I'm working really, really hard to broaden my reach online. And I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. And again, please share that as well. Let's see, there was something else I needed to say. Oh, next week, I am going to Frankenmuth, Michigan with my friend Deb Henning. So I will be gone from Sunday evening, probably until Wednesday evening, possibly Thursday morning. So I will not have a Facebook Live on Tuesday. Alrighty, no Facebook Live on Tuesday, August 6th, but I am putting out another reminder right now that on that day, August 6th, Tuesday, August 6th, 2024, we'll start Stampin' Up's Designer Series paper sale. So 15% off DSPs from the 2024 to 2025 annual catalog. Alrighty? All right, everybody. Go back to watching your Olympics, and I hope you get to enjoy some craft time in the very near future. And please let me know if I can be of service to you with your Stampin' Up! Needs. Have a good day.